What's going on in terms of SOPR? SOPR, me and Will hung out all summer. We had a SOPR summer. What's going on there?
Yeah, so SOPR looks at the profit taking, or I'm sorry, the state of profit that the market is holding on any given day. So you're taking a ratio of all the coins trading in profit, all the coins trading in loss, and you get SOPR. And then here we look at a SOPR, which is adjusting for all the outputs below an hour. And then we're also doing a 7-day moving average on this. So we're looking at essentially the weekly version of SOPR. And so as you can see recently that we've just bounced off one, obviously that's a good sign so far, but we want to see obviously an uptrend in the ratio, but at least, at the minimum, some stabilization above one. In bearish markets, you fade the retests of one, and then in a bullish trend, in a broader bullish trend, you buy the dips along one. And so if we are in a broader bullish trend, which I personally believe we are, but it's up to you to decide. All these retests of one will become, good buy opportunities if you're correct about that assumption. So we just bounced off of it. Once again, want to see some stabilization, but preferably, increase in the ratio.
I definitely think we're in a bull market. I think you do as well. So it's great to see it bouncing off that one. Tell us what's going on with the whales. We've got this chart that filters out all of the kind of exchanges and known entities. But explain to us what's going on here with this whale chart.
Yeah, so this is just looking at all the entity flows. So the green line, we have whales. This is filter out for exchanges, Grayscale, QBTC, the Purpose ETF. Then we have a couple different lines here. We have the shrimps, the crabs, the fish, octopus. So it's just saying all these different size cohorts. And so what you see is the high level, takeaway is that every single cohort is accumulating right now. As of the last 3 weeks, when you started to see the 100 to 1,000 BTC guys start to buy as well. So right now you have every single cohort accumulating, which is pretty remarkable. When you go back and look at times where you see all cohorts accumulating in unison, that's historically been a pretty good time to average in some buys. I don't have a chart of that up here, but I have put that on my Twitter in the past. It's happened a couple times before. And so you ask, where are these coins coming from? And the answer is exchanges, right? We keep talking about how coins are moving off exchanges. In the last week, you have 2,869 BTC moved off exchanges, which is about $134 million. I think I used a 47K BTC price for that. And they're also down 62,251 BTC in the last month, which is about $3.2 billion. And so this leads us to the next chart. You see that purple line is the exchange supply shock ratio. So comparing all the coins on exchanges to off. Blue line, we talk about this a lot, the liquid supply ratio. You're comparing the strong hands to the weak hands, essentially. So the entities that statistically sell a lot, the entities that statistically rarely sell, right? And so we have another bullish divergence when you look at both ratios in comparison to price. Price is kind of bleeding sideways bearish. Well, I put this out. I created this last night. So as of this morning, maybe that's starting to change. But, and then this was the same thing that happened in the summer we were tracking. So those are the supply dynamics. The one thing I wanted to touch on was just the bids. I think this is important for people to keep in mind. It's the second chart. So what you're looking at here is it's just a heat map of all the Bitfinex orders. All the bids and asks on the order book. And so what you see is we have this huge floor below us. And so you can look at this two ways. The bullish case is obviously okay, the Chinese bull whales have just set this concrete floor. And you have started to see some of those orders filling the other day. But the perhaps more nuanced view, and I'm not saying this is the case, I'm just saying keep this in mind. The bearish case would be that these walls sometimes are used to generate liquidity to either enter or exit positions. So you could set a huge wall of bids, right? And then whenever the retail guys start to see price, bleeding down into that wall or floor, I should say, they're going to try to front run that because they see there's this huge wall, no one's going to sell into that. So I'm going to start selling or closing my shorts above that. On the other end, closing my longs above that. On the other end, you could have that entity that set the floor actually using that liquidity to exit the market. And then conversely, if they set a giant wall of asks, it could be them actually trying to enter into the market. They're basically putting a cap on the price. Everyone is trying to front run that wall and sells into that, or closes their longs or open shorts, like front running that wall. And on the other end of that are actually the same entities that or entity that created that wall or ceiling are actually in the market, getting long. So there's nuance to it. But as I mentioned, like the other day, you have started to see some of these bids fill. Going back though, like Bitfinex activity, I could say, has been pretty influential on the price. Like you see them cap price a lot and set the floor oftentimes. It's just, keep an eye on it, because if you just see the floor get rugged, then, that's not a good sign.
What's up, guys? Bang, bang. Thanks so much for watching the Best Business Show today. If we're going to be the best business show, we obviously need the best partner. That's why the exclusive sponsor of the Best Business Show is SoFi. They're an all-in-one platform that allows you to invest in all kinds of different assets, including stocks, ETFs, crypto, IPOs, and they even have an automated investing function, if that's your thing. So before we start getting after it again, make sure that you go download SoFi, you get an invest account, and when you make your first crypto trade, regardless of what you buy, they'll give you $10 in Bitcoin for free. It's that simple. Head on over to SoFi.com/pomp to get started today. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope that you come back and watch more of the Best Business Show tomorrow.